uncertainty. You can speak faith while looking at an impossible situation, because faith does not deny the mountain. Faith tells you that the mountain is not greater than the God who gave you strength to climb it. Every morning, bless your identity. Don't wake up and immediately remember what somebody said about you 10 years ago. Don't wake up and rehearse every mistake you made. Don't wake up and introduce yourself to yourself through your failures. You are not your worst day. You are not your greatest mistake. You are not the rejection you experienced. You are not the door that closed. You are not what someone decided you could not become. There's more inside you than what has happened to you. So speak to yourself. Tell yourself, I am growing. I am learning. I am becoming wiser. I have something valuable to contribute. I will not surrender my future to my past. And then speak about your future. Because successful people understand something. You must learn to see tomorrow before you arrive there. Your current condition is not necessarily your final condition. The seed does not look like the tree. The beginning does not look like the finished product. The first chapter does not reveal the entire book. So stop judging your entire life by one chapter. Maybe today you are in a season of preparation. Maybe you are in a season of rebuilding. Maybe you are in a season where everything seems slow. But slow does not mean dead. Silence does not mean abandonment. Delay does not mean denial. And difficulty does not mean destiny has been cancelled. Sometimes you are being developed in places where nobody can see you. So don't despise the process. Speak over it. Say, this season is preparing me. This challenge is teaching me. This disappointment will not destroy me. I will become wiser because of what I have experienced. Now listen carefully. Your words must eventually become your actions. Don't stand in the mirror every morning saying, I am going to succeed, and then spend the entire day refusing to discipline yourself. Blessing yourself is not positive thinking without responsibility. If you say you are disciplined, practice discipline. If you say you are courageous, take the step. If you say you have purpose, organize your life around that purpose. If you say you believe in your future, invest in your future. Your declarations should become decisions. Your decisions should become habits. And your habits should become your character. That is how words become reality. Every morning, speak over your mind. Tell your mind, I will not allow fear to make my decisions. I will not allow anger to control my behavior. I will not allow yesterday to occupy today's mind. I will think clearly. I will listen before I react. I will choose wisdom over impulse. Because your greatest battle may not be outside you. It may be happening inside you. And sometimes the first victory you need is not a victory over your circumstances. It is a victory over the voice inside you that keeps telling you that you cannot. You have to challenge that voice. When it says you're finished, answer no, I am rebuilding. When it says you can't, answer, I will learn how. When it says you failed too many times, answer, then I have learned too many lessons to quit now. When it says nobody believes in you, answer, I will continue to believe in what God placed inside me. That is how you take authority over your morning. And don't only speak blessings over yourself. Speak blessings over your family. Speak blessings over your children. Speak blessings over your work. Speak blessings over your relationships. Speak blessings over people who are struggling. Because a person who constantly releases life eventually creates an atmosphere of life around them. Your mouth can become a weapon of destruction or an instrument of construction. Use it to build. Use it to encourage. Use it to restore. Use it to remind people of what they can become. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, don't wait until the world gives you a reason to feel valuable. Now your value before the world gives you an opinion. Don't wait until everything is perfect before you become grateful. Don't wait until you have everything before you become confident. Don't wait until you arrive before you celebrate the journey. Stand where you are. Lift your head. Take a breath and speak. Say, today is a gift. I have purpose. I have something to give. I will not be ruled by fear. I will learn from yesterday without living in yesterday. I will make wise decisions today. I will treat people with dignity. I will pursue what matters. I will use what I have. I will become better. And finally say, my future is not determined by my past. My potential is greater than my present circumstances. I am still becoming, still learning, still growing, and still moving forward. Then get up, because the declaration is not the destination. The declaration is the beginning of the action. You have spoken, now walk. You have declared, now build. You have believed, now act. And tomorrow morning, before the world tells you who you are, speak life, speak purpose, speak courage, speak wisdom, speak gratitude, speak faith, speak blessings. Because sometimes the first person who needs to hear your encouragement is you. Good morning. Now go and live what you have spoken. Every morning, before you allow the world to tell you who you are, you must decide who you believe you are. Before you check your phone, before you read the messages, before you listen to the opinions of people, before you encounter the problems waiting for you, there's a moment when your mind is still open. That moment is powerful. It is the moment when you can choose what voice will have the first word in your life. Because something will speak to you every morning. Your circumstances will speak. Your bills will speak. Your responsibilities will speak. Your mistakes will speak. Your disappointments will speak. The voice of someone who rejected you may speak. The memory of something that went wrong may speak. Fear may speak and say, you cannot do this. Doubt may say, nothing is going to change. Your past may whisper, this is all you will ever be. But you do not have to agree with every voice that speaks to you. You have been given a voice of your own. Use it before the world tells you that you are behind. Remind yourself that you are still moving. Before someone tells you that you are not capable, remind yourself that capacity can be developed. Before your circumstances tell you that your future is impossible, remind yourself that circumstances are conditions, not conclusions. Your first conversation of the day should not always be with the world. Sometimes it needs to be with yourself. Look at yourself and say, I am still here. I still have purpose. I still have something to contribute. I still have another opportunity to grow. I will not allow yesterday to control today. There is tremendous power in being intentional about what you hear first. If the first thing you consume every morning is negativity, criticism, and fear, you can carry that atmosphere into the entire day. But when you begin with truth, gratitude, purpose, and faith, you create a different foundation for your thinking. This does not mean you ignore reality. It means you refuse to let reality become your identity. If you are facing a difficult season, acknowledge it. But don't say, I am a failure. Say, I am facing a difficult season, and I am learning how to overcome it. There is a difference. One statement gives your circumstance authority over your identity. The other gives you responsibility over your response. Your words should remind you that you are not powerless. You may not control everything that happens today, but you can control what you believe, how you respond, what you pursue, and what kind of person you choose to become. So speak before the world speaks. Tell yourself, I will not be intimidated by what I see. I will not surrender my peace to what I cannot control. I will not allow another person's opinion to become my identity. I will not allow my past to write my future. Let your first words establish your direction, because the world will always have something to say. The question is not whether you will hear a voice. The question is, which voice will you believe? Your identity is one of the most valuable things you possess, because everything you do is influenced by what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are worthless, you will make choices from worthlessness. If you believe you are incapable, you will constantly retreat from opportunities. If you believe you have no purpose, you will struggle to recognize the significance of your life. But when you understand who you are, you begin to live differently. That is why you must learn to bless your identity every morning. Do not wake up and immediately define yourself by what went wrong yesterday. Your mistake is something you made. It is not who you are. Your failure is an event. It is not your identity. Your rejection is an experience. It is not your value. Someone's inability to recognize your worth does not remove your worth. Too many people allow other people's opinions to become the mirror through which they see themselves. Someone says, you're not good enough, and they carry those words for years. Someone says, you will never succeed, and they begin to live as though that prediction is a permanent sentence. Someone walks away from them, and they conclude that they must not be valuable. But you must understand something. People can have opinions about you without having authority over you. You cannot allow every voice to become your identity. Every morning, remind yourself that you are still becoming. You may not be everything you want to be, but you are not where you used to be. You are learning. You are developing. You are gaining wisdom through experience. You are discovering strengths you did not know you had. Tell yourself, I am valuable. Not because you have achieved everything. Not because everyone approves of you. Not because your life is perfect. You are valuable because your existence has meaning, and your life carries potential. Then tell yourself, I have something to contribute. There is something you can give that nobody else can give in exactly the same way. Your experiences, your perspective, your gifts, your creativity, your compassion, your knowledge, and your voice are part of what makes your contribution unique. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's finished picture. You may be looking at someone who is 10 years ahead of you and judging yourself, because you are still beginning. But you were never called to become someone else. You were called to become the best expression of what was placed inside you. Bless your identity with truth. Say, I am not defined by my past. I am not controlled by my fears. I am not limited to my previous mistakes. I am capable of learning. I am capable of changing. I am capable of growing. I have purpose. I have potential. I have more to become. And when you speak these words, don't say them as empty slogans. Say them with responsibility. If you say you are becoming wiser, then seek wisdom. If you say you are disciplined, practice discipline. If you say you have purpose, protect your time and energy for what matters. Your identity should become the foundation from which you live, not merely words you repeat. Every morning, remind yourself who you are before the world tries to tell you who you should be. Stand firmly in your value. Walk with humility, but don't walk with self-hatred. Be willing to improve without despising yourself in the process. You can recognize your weaknesses without becoming your weaknesses. You can admit your mistakes without becoming your mistake. You can pursue growth without believing you are worthless until you arrive. Bless who you are today while becoming who you are meant to be. There is a powerful difference between remembering your past and allowing your past to control your future. Your past contains lessons, experiences, victories, disappointments, mistakes, and moments that shaped you. You should learn from it, but you were never designed to live permanently inside it. The past can explain where you have been, but it does not have the authority to decide where you are going. Many people wake up every morning and speak about their lives as though yesterday is still happening. They say, I failed before, so I will probably fail again. People have disappointed me, so I cannot trust anyone. I tried once and it didn't work, so there is no point trying again. I have never had opportunities, so opportunities will never come. But that is the language of the past. If you want to move forward, you must learn to speak about your future. Your future needs a voice. You need to look beyond what you currently see and begin to declare what you are becoming. Not because you are pretending that problems do not exist, but because you understand that your present condition is not necessarily your final destination. A seed does not look like a tree, but the tree is already contained within the seed. In the same way, your present may not reveal everything that is possible in your life. You may be looking at limited resources, limited opportunities, or limited experience. But none of those things automatically define your final capacity. Stop saying, this is all I have. Start asking, what can I build with what I have? Stop saying I have already failed. Start saying, what did that failure teach me? Stop saying I am too late. Start saying, what can I begin today? Your language must move from regret to responsibility, from limitation to possibility, and from yesterday to tomorrow. You cannot change what happened yesterday, but you can decide what meaning you will give it. A painful experience can become a lesson. A closed door can become redirection. A mistake can become wisdom. A season of weakness can become the place where strength was developed. Your past becomes dangerous when you turn it into prophecy. You failed once, but that does not mean you are a failure. You lost something, but that does not mean you have lost your future. Someone rejected you, but that does not mean you are rejected by life. You experience disappointment, but disappointment does not have to become your permanent expectation. Speak differently. Say, my best days are not behind me. Say, I am preparing for what is ahead. Say, I am learning the skills my future requires. Say, I will make wiser decisions because of what I have learned. Say, I will not allow yesterday's limitations to become tomorrow's boundaries. Your future is not built by wishing. It is built by vision, decisions, discipline, patience, and consistent action. So when you speak about your future, make sure your behavior agrees with your words. If you say you want a better future, become better. If you want greater wisdom, learn. If you want greater influence, develop your character. If you want greater opportunities, prepare for them before they arrive. The future rewards preparation. Every morning, speak to the person you are becoming. Tell yourself, I am not finished. I am developing. I am preparing. I am moving forward. Do not let your history become a prison. Let it become a classroom. Your past may be part of your story, but it is not the author of your next chapter. Speak about what can become possible. Speak about what you are building. Speak about the person you are becoming. Because when you change the language of your future, you begin to change the direction of your life. The words you speak every day are shaping the way you see yourself, your circumstances, and your future. Sometimes the greatest limitation in your life is not what is happening around you, but what you keep saying about what is happening around you. A person can be surrounded by opportunities and still see only obstacles because their language has trained their mind to expect defeat. Negative language often sounds harmless. Nothing ever works for me. I'm always unlucky. I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. People like me never succeed. I will probably fail anyway. These statements may feel like honest descriptions of your life, but when repeated often enough, they become beliefs, and beliefs influence decisions. You begin to live according to the words you repeatedly speak. That is why you must become careful with your language. This does not mean you should lie to yourself. It does not mean you deny your problems or pretend everything is perfect. It means you refuse to turn temporary difficulties into permanent declarations. Instead of saying I can't, say I haven't learned how yet. Instead of saying I'm stuck, say I need to find another way. Instead of saying I always fail, say I have failed before, but I can learn from it. Instead of saying nothing will change, say I can begin changing what is within my control. Notice the difference. The first language closes the door. The second language searches for the door. Your words can either build a prison around your thinking or create room for possibility. Every time you say, I can't, you should pause and ask yourself, is that really true? Or am I afraid? Sometimes I can't really means I'm uncomfortable. Sometimes it means I don't know how. Sometimes it means I'm afraid of failing. Sometimes it means I tried before and got hurt. Those are real emotions, but they are not necessarily permanent truths. You must learn to separate what you feel from what is possible. You may feel afraid and still move forward. You may feel uncertain and still make a wise decision. You may feel discouraged and still continue. You may feel unqualified and still develop the skills you need. Never allow a temporary emotion to become a permanent identity. Your language should give your mind instruction. Say, I will find a solution. Say, I can learn. Say, I can improve. Say, I can ask for help. Say, I can try again. Say, I will not give up because today is difficult. This is not merely positive thinking. It is disciplined thinking. You are training yourself to look for possibilities instead of automatically looking for reasons to quit. And be careful not only with what you say about yourself, but also with what you say about other people. If your daily language is filled with criticism, gossip, insults, and condemnation, eventually that environment affects your own mind. A mouth that constantly destroys others eventually learns to destroy itself. Choose words that build. Choose words that restore. Choose words that encourage. Choose words that tell the truth while leaving room for growth. You may have a difficult problem, but don't call your life hopeless. You may have made a terrible mistake, but don't call yourself worthless. You may be experiencing a delay, but don't call your future dead. There is always a difference between what you are experiencing and what you are becoming. So listen to yourself. Pay attention to the sentences you repeat when nobody is around, because those sentences reveal what you have been teaching your mind to believe. To outshine the language, change the conversations. And as your words begin to change, your thinking begins to change, your decisions begin to change, and eventually your direction begins to change. Faith is powerful because it allows you to see beyond what is immediately visible. It gives you the courage to believe that your present circumstances do not have to determine your future. But faith is not an excuse to avoid responsibility. Real faith does not simply speak about what can happen. It prepares, acts, works, learns, and continues when circumstances become difficult. Every morning, speak with faith, but make sure your life is willing to support the words coming out of your mouth. You can say, I believe my future will be better. But then you must ask yourself, what am I doing today to prepare for that future? You can say, I believe I will succeed, but you must be willing to develop the discipline that success requires. You can say, I believe there is purpose in my life, but you must be willing to pursue that purpose when it becomes inconvenient. Faith gives you vision, but responsibility gives that vision structure. Too many people want the result without accepting the responsibility connected to the result. They want change without changing. They want opportunity without preparation. They want success without discipline. They want a better future while continuing the same habits that produce their present. But you cannot build a new future with an unchanged life. Speak faith over yourself, but then get up and do the work. Say, I can become better, and then learn something. Say, I can overcome this, and then take the next step. Say, I will succeed, and then prepare yourself for the opportunity. Say, I have purpose, and then protect your time from things that continually distract you from that purpose. Faith does not remove responsibility. Faith makes responsibility meaningful. When you believe that your actions matter, you become more careful with your decisions. You begin to understand that every day is contributing something to your future. Every habit is taking you somewhere. Every decision is shaping something. Every hour you spend is an investment in something. That is why you must stop waiting for perfect conditions. You may never have perfect conditions. You may not have all the resources. You may not have everyone's approval. You may not know every step, but you can take the next step. Faith says, I may not see the whole road, but I can move forward with the light I have. Responsibility says, and I will make sure the step I take is wise. That combination is powerful. Faith without responsibility can become fantasy. Responsibility without faith can become exhausting. But when faith and responsibility work together, you develop the courage to believe and the discipline to act. When you make a mistake, don't use faith to pretend it didn't happen. Accept responsibility, learn from it, correct what you can, apologize when necessary, change your behavior, then move forward. There is strength in saying, I was wrong, but I can become wiser. There is maturity in saying, I made that decision, and I must learn from the consequences. There is power in saying, this happened, but I am responsible for what I do next. Your future cannot be built by blaming everyone else. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control your response. You cannot control what people choose to do, but you can control your character. You cannot control yesterday, but you can control today's decisions. So every morning, speak faith into your life and responsibility into your actions. Tell yourself, I believe there is more ahead of me. Then ask, what must I do today to prepare for it? Tell yourself, I believe I can overcome. Then take the step. Tell yourself, I believe my life has purpose. Then live intentionally, because faith may show you the destination, but responsibility teaches you how to walk toward it. Purpose is one of the deepest needs of the human spirit. People can survive difficult circumstances when they know why they are living, but when they lose their sense of purpose, Even comfort can feel empty. That is why every morning you must remind yourself that your life is not accidental, meaningless, or without direction. You were created with something to contribute, something to develop, something to give, and something to become. Declare your purpose before the distractions of the day begin. Tell yourself, my life has meaning. Say it until you understand that your value is not measured only by your possessions, position, salary, popularity, or achievements. Your purpose is deeper than what you own and greater than what people think about you. Purpose answers a powerful question. Asterisk, why am I here? When you know why you are here, you become more selective about how you spend your time. You stop giving your best energy to everything that demands your attention. You begin to recognize that not every opportunity is your assignment. Not every invitation deserves your yes. And not every distraction deserves your time. Purpose gives you the ability to say no. There will always be people trying to pull you in different directions. There will always be trends to follow, opinions to consider, and opportunities that look attractive. But if you do not know what matters to you, you can spend your entire life building someone else's dream while neglecting the purpose inside you. Your purpose may not become clear all at once. Sometimes purpose is discovered through action. You try something, you learn, you serve, you fail, you grow, and gradually you discover what you're designed to do. So don't wait until you have every answer before you begin. Start with what you know. What are you good at? What problems do you care about solving? What kind of people do you want to help? What abilities have been placed inside you? What experiences have shaped your perspective? What burden continues to remain on your heart? Your answers may contain clues about your assignment, and once you recognize your purpose, protect it. Purpose requires discipline because distractions are everywhere. You can lose years doing things that feel important but produce nothing meaningful. You can become busy without becoming productive. You can fill your schedule while leaving your calling untouched. That is why every morning remind yourself, my time matters. My gifts matter. My decisions matter. What I do today is contributing to who I will become tomorrow. Purpose also gives you strength during difficult seasons. When you know why you are moving, obstacles become easier to endure. You may become tired, but you have a reason to continue. You may face rejection, but you understand that one closed door cannot cancel your entire assignment. You may experience failure, but you can turn the lesson into wisdom. Purpose does not mean your journey will be easy. It means the journey is worth it. So declare your purpose every morning. Say, I am here to make a meaningful contribution. I will develop what has been placed inside me. I will use my abilities to serve, create, build, teach, encourage, solve, and influence. I will not waste my life trying to become someone else. I will become the person I was created to become. Then let those words influence your choices. Purpose is not merely something you say. Purpose is something you live. When your words, decisions, habits, and priorities begin moving in the same direction, your life gains clarity. You stop merely existing from one day to another and begin living intentionally. Every morning is another opportunity to move closer to the person you are becoming. Declare it, believe it, build it, live it. Discipline is the bridge between what you desire and what you actually become. Many people have dreams, goals, talents, and good intentions, but intention alone does not build a meaningful life. You can have a powerful vision for your future, but if you cannot control your habits, your emotions, your time, and your decisions, your vision will remain something you talk about instead of something you experience. That is why every morning you must speak discipline over your life. Tell yourself, I will do what needs to be done, even when I do not feel like doing it, because your feelings are not always reliable leaders. There will be mornings when you feel motivated, and there will be mornings when you do not. There will be days when the work feels exciting, and days when it feels boring. There will be moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. Discipline says, I will continue. You must understand that successful living is not built only on the days when you feel inspired. It is built on ordinary days when nobody is watching and you still choose to do what is necessary. Speak to yourself about consistency. Say, I will keep my commitments. I will respect my time. I will finish what I begin. I will control my distractions. I will choose what is important over what is merely convenient. These declarations matter because your future is being shaped by small decisions every day. A person rarely destroys their future with one giant decision. More often, the damage happens through repeated small choices. One more delay, one more excuse, one more wasted hour, one more unnecessary distraction, one more promise broken to yourself. But the opposite is also true. A better future is often built through small decisions repeated consistently. One page read every day becomes knowledge. One workout repeated becomes strength. 1 hour invested in learning becomes skill. One disciplined financial decision repeated becomes stability. One honest conversation can repair a relationship. One focused day can become the beginning of a new pattern. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. When you discipline yourself, you are saying, my future matters enough for me to make sacrifices today. You are choosing the greater reward over the immediate pleasure. That may mean saying no when everyone else says yes. It may mean waking up when you want to sleep. It may mean studying when you want entertainment. It may mean saving when you want to spend. It may mean remaining silent when anger tells you to speak. It may mean walking away from something that feels good today because you know it will cost you tomorrow. Discipline teaches you to ask a better question. Not what do I feel like doing, but what does my purpose require me to do? That question can change your life. You also need discipline in your words. Stop constantly declaring, I have no control. Stop telling yourself, that's just how I am. People can change patterns. You can learn new habits. You can become more organized, more patient, more focused, and more responsible. You are not required to remain trapped in yesterday's habits. Every morning gives you another opportunity to practice self-control. Start small. Keep one promise to yourself today. Complete one important task. Remove one distraction. Make one wise decision. Then repeat it tomorrow. Over time, discipline becomes character, and character becomes the foundation upon which your future can stand. So speak discipline over your life. Say, I will not be controlled by temporary feelings. I will not sacrifice my future for temporary comfort. I will keep moving when the excitement disappears. I will do what I said I would do. Then prove those words through your actions, because discipline is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming dependable to your purpose, to your responsibilities, and to the person you are becoming. Your mind is one of the most powerful gifts you have, because the quality of your thoughts influences the quality of your decisions, your relationships, your habits, and ultimately the direction of your life. What you repeatedly allow into your mind eventually begins to influence what comes out of your life. That is why you must learn to bless your mind every morning. Before the world fills your mind with noise, fill it with truth. Tell yourself, my mind is valuable. I will protect what I allow to enter it. I will think carefully. I will learn. I will grow. I will choose wisdom over confusion. Your mind needs nourishment just as your body does. You cannot constantly feed it fear, anger, comparison, gossip, negativity, and discouragement, and then expect it to produce peace, clarity, confidence, and wisdom. What enters your mind matters. Every conversation matters. Every message matters. Every video matters. Every book matters. Every environment matters. Every thought you repeatedly entertain matters. This does not mean you must avoid every difficult or negative thing in life. It means you must become intentional about what you give permission to occupy your mind. There will always be voices telling you that you are behind. There will always be people comparing your life to someone else's. There will always be information designed to make you afraid, angry, distracted, or insecure. You cannot control every voice in the world, but you can decide which voices receive authority inside your mind. That is why you must practice mental discipline. When a destructive thought comes, don't automatically accept it as truth. If your mind says, I will never succeed, question it. If it says, nobody values me, question it. It says, everything is going wrong, question it. A thought is not automatically a fact simply because it entered your mind. Learn to examine your thoughts. Ask, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this leading me toward wisdom or toward fear? Is this thought based on reality or is it coming from insecurity? You become stronger when you learn to challenge thoughts instead of becoming controlled by them. Bless your mind with learning. Tell yourself, I can learn something new. I can develop wisdom. I can change my perspective. I can become better at making decisions. I don't have to know everything today. There is humility in admitting that you do not know everything, and there is power in remaining teachable. A closed mind cannot grow. A proud mind cannot receive correction. A fearful mind cannot see possibilities clearly, but a teachable mind keeps expanding. Bless your mind with peace as well. Not every problem deserves your panic. Not every opinion deserves your reaction. Not every disagreement deserves your anger. Not every uncertainty deserves your fear. Sometimes wisdom means slowing down. Take a breath, think, pray, reflect, then respond. Your mind should not be a battlefield where every thought is allowed to fight for control. You can choose what deserves your attention. You can choose what deserves your energy. You can choose what deserves your emotional response. Every morning, remind yourself that your mind belongs under your direction. Say, I will not allow fear to lead me. I will not allow comparison to steal my peace. I will not allow yesterday to occupy all of today. I will think with wisdom. I will remain teachable. I will focus on what I can control. I will protect my peace and pursue truth. Then carry those words into your day, because when you bless your mind, you are not merely changing your thoughts for a few minutes. You are creating a healthier foundation from which to make decisions, face challenges, build relationships, and pursue your purpose. Guard your mind. Feed it truth. Train it with wisdom. Fill it with possibility. And never forget that the direction of your life is often influenced by the thoughts you choose to entertain every day. What you repeatedly say to yourself has the power to influence what you eventually believe about yourself. One declaration may encourage you for a few minutes, but repeated truth can begin to reshape your thinking. That is why you must learn to speak life over yourself consistently. especially when your circumstances are trying to convince you of the opposite. Most people do not struggle because they have never heard encouraging words. They struggle because they have heard negative words for so long that those words have become familiar. Someone may have told them, "You are not capable," years ago, and even though that person is no longer around, the statement continues to live inside their thinking. Another person may have experienced repeated failure and eventually started saying, "Nothing ever works for me." Over time, the statement becomes a belief. That is why repetition matters. If negative words can be repeated until they become beliefs, positive and truthful words can also be repeated until they become stronger beliefs. You have to teach your mind a new language. Every morning, tell yourself, "I am growing." Say it again. "I am growing." When you make a mistake, say it. When someone criticizes you, say it. When progress feels slow, say it. Because growth does not always look impressive while it is happening. You may not see the change immediately. You may still have weaknesses. You may still struggle with old habits. You may still have unanswered questions, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Keep speaking truth. Tell yourself, "I am becoming wiser. I am becoming stronger. I am becoming more disciplined. I am learning from my experiences. I am capable of making better decisions. I have not reached everything I want, but I am moving forward." The goal is not to repeat empty words until you believe a fantasy. The goal is to repeat truth until it becomes stronger than the lies you have believed. You may have spent years telling yourself that you are not good enough. Do not expect one positive sentence to erase years of negative thinking overnight. Give yourself time. If you have been feeding your mind fear for years, you will need to feed it courage repeatedly. If you have been feeding it insecurity, you will need to remind yourself of your value repeatedly. If you have been feeding it failure, you will need to remind yourself of possibility repeatedly. Repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity can influence what your mind accepts. This is why your morning declarations matter. When you wake up, speak before the day becomes loud. Say, "Today I will think clearly." Say, "Today I will make wise choices." Say, "Today I will not surrender my peace." Say, "Today I will move closer to my purpose." Then repeat those truths throughout the day when necessary. You may need to say them when the phone call comes. You may need to say them when the opportunity disappears. You may need to say them when someone doubts you. You may need to say them when you doubt yourself. Do not allow one difficult moment to become the voice that defines your entire life. Keep repeating what is true. Eventually, the words that once felt unfamiliar can become natural. The declaration can become a belief. The belief can influence your decisions, and your decisions can shape your behavior. But remember, repetition must be connected to action. If you say, "I am disciplined," practice discipline. If you say, "I am growing," keep learning. If you say, "I have purpose," pursue meaningful work. Your words become powerful when your life begins agreeing with them. So speak it again and again and again, not because you are trying to convince the world, because you are training yourself to believe what is true about the person you are becoming. So tomorrow morning, before you step into the noise of the world, stop for a moment and speak to yourself. Remind yourself that you are not finished, your story is not over, and your future is not limited to what you have experienced. Speak truth when fear speaks. Speak courage when doubt speaks. Speak purpose when confusion speaks. Speak hope when disappointment speaks. And when you don't believe it yet, say it again. When progress is slow, say it again. When you fall, say it again. When someone tells you that you cannot, say it again. When your circumstances look impossible, say it again. Because sometimes you have to speak the truth long enough for your mind to remember it. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more disciplined. You are learning. You are growing. You have purpose. You have something to contribute. And your past does not